Welcome back, students of Night School Horror. As shadows lengthen in the second semester, prepare for a chilling curriculum. Unearth the unknown as we delve deeper into the abyss. This semester, we elevate the darkness where nightmares become lessons. Class is now in session. May you all survive this semester. In one piece.
Good morning, students. Welcome back to Night School Horror. Where your horror
dark
classrooms? It's no. See, you made a mistake. But not only did you interrupt the teacher, which you never interrupt the teacher, there's currently an eclipse going on. So you should not be looking outside, first off, because then you will go blind. So it's morning.
What if I have glasses?
It's morning. No, I did not give out glasses. The glasses have not been distributed because in this classroom, because it's morning time, again, it's morning time. And we call it Night School Horror because it's night school all the time. It's nighttime all the time. And there's an eclipse outside right now. You can take a look if you want. Do you see it?
I don't think I should look.
Okay, definitely don't look. All right. Welcome, students. Again, welcome, students. Unfortunately, today we are missing a student because he had to go. I think he's outside, actually, right now, to be honest with you. I was trying to look for him before, but Mr. Malave is not here. I think he might be looking at the eclipse. Mr. Malave, can you get outside? What are you doing? Yeah, no, he's staring into the eclipse right now, so I don't know how much longer he's not going to be here. I don't think he's going to make class.
Why does he look frozen?
Yeah, he does, right? He looks like he's like stuck. We'll after class we'll go check on him. I think the eclipse should be over within the next hour and 20 minutes or so, and then we'll be okay.
That's a later problem.
That's fine. We'll leave him there. But we do, in fact, we always have our student with us today. It's Florida's favorite creep, and it's your favorite creep, Sabrina Ace. Hello, Sabrina.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm present. I'm here.
Present. You are here indeed. And of course, you're not outside looking at the eclipse like Mr. Malave is currently doing. He's kind of freaking me out a little bit. Like he's like, you ever see like
he's in a trance.
Yeah, like those alien movies where they get in that trance and then they just start to float in the air. Like that's what he looks like right now.
Should we tie him down?
No, we should not
just
go outside.
By the ankle?
No, we can't go outside.
Make sure he doesn't float away.
No, he'll be all right. I think he'll be fine.
All right.
Yeah, we'll just leave him there. He'll figure it out. You know, he just looks a little weird.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay. Let's continue. Let's just move on because today in class, we're doing an appreciation thing in class. We're going to be talking about Blumhouse. As you know, we love Blumhouse so much. They throw out the best movies. They have the best concepts, and they give us the best actors and actresses in their films. But unfortunately, that was probably the beginning of Blumhouse, and nowadays Blumhouse, in my opinion, has turned into that name where you hear it and you think, oh, fuck, it's just another Blumhouse film. I always look at it like M. Night Shyamalan, or I like to call him M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. In the beginning, yes, he would throw out some hits. But then after The Village is when I was like, I don't think I can fuck with this guy anymore. After The Village and then Lady in the Water, I was done. He became the disappointment to me, where when I see his name, I go, oh no, this is going to be a stupid twist, and I just don't think it's going to be a good movie. Obviously, movies like The Happening was another very big disappointment from him, and a lot of people will tell you.
Sure did happen.
It did happen, though, because it happened and then just went away, and it didn't make any sense.
Well, the movie happened.
Yeah,
doesn't mean anyone was around to witness it.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg was in it, though.
You know, if a bear shits in the woods, no one's around to see it.
Yeah, that's true. We can't prove that it actually happened. Unfortunately, Mark Wahlberg could prove that it actually happened. He was in the movie. It
happened to him.
Yeah, it did, indeed. But from most people will say that M. Night Shyamalan's fall was The Last Airbender. When he did The Last Airbender, he fucked it up so much that people said, nope, I'm good. We're done here. So
I was angry with him before, and then after Last Airbender, I was like, you know what? I hate you.
Yeah, I think we're done. And I'm not a big Last Airbender fan. I didn't really watch it like that, but I know plenty of people that do, including Mr. A-Town
100%
Ryan. Sabrina and Mr. A-Town Ryan, he's a big fan of that. And I know when he saw the movie, he went, oh, we're done. Like, that's it. We are finished.
Yep.
Blumhouse is, in my opinion, they're the same. They're the same. They gave me hits, they drag me in, and then they disappoint me. So we're giving an appreciation to them, and then we're going to get to the point where they ruined us. They hurt us as moviegoers, as fans of the movies. Let's look at it this way. Blumhouse's first movie that we know for a fact, Sabrina, we know this movie, and we don't like it. It's a very popular film. I'm saying they've done movies prior to this, but I'm talking about their first hit. This
is the one that got them on the radar.
This is what put them on the radar. People were like, did you hear about this film? And everybody heard about it. They didn't realize what Blumhouse truly was yet. Jason Blum didn't really.
It wasn't a household name until after this movie.
Yes, and it started to tear itself up. And do you know what that movie is, Sabrina?
I do.
You do, because you're looking at that movie right now on your list. And it's our least favorite movie. It's fucking Paranormal Activity. It's Paranormal Activity.
I need you to know that when I was making my list of Blumhouse films that I've seen personally versus like the long list of things that they produced, I have a good, bad, and just kind of like mid-tier, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The first one on bad, the bad side, the bad list is Paranormal Activity.
Paranormal Activity.
And it was their first one.
It was their first hit.
Made them a household name.
That's right. It's their first hit. They have like they have other movies that, not a lot, but they're very like independent type of films. But this is an independent film. I would say Paranormal Activity was treated like an independent film.
The highest grossing film in Hollywood.
It's bullshit. It's completely bullshit and not well deserved.
The most profitable.
Yes,
it's so weird.
That is true.
It was made for like what, $15,000, and they made almost $200 million.
Pretty much. And I will tell you this: I should have known from that moment when I first seen the movie, and I was like, "What is Blumhouse?" I should have known at that moment they're bad. They're bad people. They do bad things, and they're going to ruin me. Okay, they're going to trick me at first. You know, they're going to give me some movies that I'm going to be like, "Oh, you know what? I kind of like this movie," and then eventually down the road is when they're going to stab me right in the chest and they're going to turn it, because they gave me a movie that I personally hate and think is so much fucking overhyped, and it's not well deserved. And we've done this on panels. You know, we've spoken about this. We speak about this in our own time. We've spoken about this on the side on like our social medias. I know I have. So I'm not going to get into it why I hate it so much. I'm sure eventually on this show we will do something involving Paranormal Activity, maybe like a rewatch or something. And then we could just stab it. Just stab the fucking thing and shit on Blumhouse even more. So yeah, Paranormal Activity was its first mega, like, if not, it probably is its biggest hit. You would say it's the hit.
Yes. Yes, it is. I have to appreciate what they did leading up to that movie, though. Mm-hmm. I will give them that. The lead up to that movie was everyone's talking about. They showed audience reaction, which everyone seemed to be afraid of it, or jump scares or scared of it. Yes. Some sort of positive reaction you would want from a horror film. I got to give them credit for advertisement on that. It, again, $15,000 to make that movie, and it definitely looks like a $15,000 movie. Mm-hmm. But then to gross almost $200 million, like, I disagree with that part. Sure, everyone went to see it, but yeah. I give Blumhouse credit in the early days for what they did for the build up to a movie.
Yeah,
I can't give them anything about the movie.
They did do a very good job when it came to the build, because it's, you know, and I feel like it's always the same kind of build too, where it's like, this is the scariest movie that you've ever seen. And then they show the
scariest movie of the year.
And they show the crowd in the black light, and they're like, no. And then the girls that jump into them, and they cover their eyes, and they're sitting there like this, and they're like, oh my God, it's getting scary. And then, and they get scared, and they all scream. The Brought to you by Blumhouse Productions. Oh, that's a cool name. That's what I remember thinking, going like, that's a pretty cool name. I kind of like that name, Blumhouse.
Yeah.
Why is it called Blumhouse? Yeah, their logo's dope.
When I saw that logo, I used to get excited.
Keyword is used to get excited.
Yeah.
Just like M. Night Shyamalan, when we saw his name, we used to get excited. Do you remember the movie After Earth that he did with Will Smith and his son?
Yeah.
Did you know that his name is nowhere to be found on the poster? It's in the beginning. There's his name pops up in the credit where it's like directed by, and it says his name, and people literally went, fuck, we got tricked. He tricked us again.
Crazy.
With After Earth. And guess what was a bad movie? After Earth was not a good movie.
I was going to say, it still made it a shit movie.
It was still a shit movie, so he proved his point. And just like Blumhouse, they throw out a big hit, everybody loves it. Then they kind of give us another one, which I don't know if a lot of people may not know this. You said you didn't know this either, that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is in a Blumhouse film, and it's called The Tooth Fairy.
Tommy, I had no freaking clue that The Tooth Fairy, where Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson dresses up as a tooth fairy,
hockey player,
was a Blumhouse film.
That's right. It was a Blumhouse film. It was the second.
You watch that; it doesn't even have the same feel as a Blumhouse film.
No, because
even
they ventured off
for an action film. Like, what is this?
It's not even it's not even an action film. It's like The Pacifier, like a children's movie.
Right.
He did the Game Plan, which I thought Game Plan was pretty decent, and then he comes out with The Tooth Fairy, which is a 20th Century Fox movie. He's a hockey player, and then he dies or some shit. Now he has to be the Tooth Fairy. Thank God The Rock is who he is now. Okay, he's
Jack Frost, but
man.
Make it Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. I've never seen it. I've never sat down and watched it because knowing that he has wings and dressed like a hockey player, I knew whoever was behind this movie should be destroyed. And it turns out it was fucking Blumhouse. Blumhouse decided to do it. So they give me Paranormal Activity. I hate it. They take one of my favorite wrestlers, put some fucking wings on him and some fucking hockey pads and call him a Tooth Fairy. Fuck them for that, And I'm like, they are hurting me right now. They're not making me happy. So I'm already on bad terms with Blumhouse. We're not off to a good relationship. How's your relationship right now with them? Are you feeling confident in this Blumhouse Productions?
Right now, like present day?
At this moment. At this moment of these two movies. This is what they gave us. I don't know if you've seen Tooth Fairy, but
I have not.
Okay, well, it's good.
I have no interest. It didn't appeal to me when I saw trailers for it. Yeah. I was like, this is going to be hot garbage, and I'm not going to be a part of it.
Absolutely trash.
My relationship with Blumhouse is almost like an abusive relationship.
Okay.
Where they keep promising me really good stuff.
They're promising
I go, oh my God. I want to believe you. I want to believe you, so I'm going to. I'm naive. And then they just keep giving me shit. And I plead with them going, hey, what is this? You promised me good. I feel like we need good.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just tell me, hey, psych, also, here's some shit.
Yes.
Here's some more shit.
A lot of shit.
Eat the shit.
A lot of shit.
And then every time they come out with a horror film, and I get really excited, or I used to, and I go, oh my God, it's a Blumhouse film. I got to go see this. I got to see it in theaters. That is the precedence. If it had Blumhouse on it as a horror film, I need to see it in theaters.
Yes, I agree.
Then it became so disappointing that I'm like, I don't need to go to the theater for it anymore. I'll just wait till it comes out streaming.
The thing with Blumhouse too in the beginning is they were only throwing like 2 movies a year, and
right,
which is
they
good.
were anticipated.
Yeah, so even if they were crap, you were sitting there going like, okay, this is a well-known at this point. They gave us a movie that even though we didn't like it, we could say it was very popular. It made a lot of money. So when they had the opportunity to come out with Paranormal Activity 2, it was hyped. They were like, yes, let's go. There's more to this story. Of course, the way it ended, there's more to the story. We didn't realize at that point we're going backwards too. So I'll say Paranormal Activity 2 is 1,000% better than Paranormal Activity 1 because we're playing a story. I still don't like it, but it's better than the first one. I'll definitely throw it out there. But I feel that where they started with this, throwing out 2 movies a year to throwing out 18 movies a year is where their downfall became later on when they started to go, we're just going to slap our name on everything. And I feel that's what Blumhouse became. But there was one film in that specific year, in the year of 2011, that they threw out that made me feel maybe they can turn this around. And that movie was Insidious.
Yes. So I remember watching the Insidious franchise, even just Insidious 1. And I'm like, this completely changes the game. This completely changes it. Anything I knew about Blumhouse before, that's fine. This is their future. This is their direction forward. Like, that's what they're going to do. They fucking took it back again.
They ended up teaming with James Wan, which was huge. James Wan was coming strong at this point. Saw, Conjuring, like he's coming strong. And they teamed with him. And I'll give Blumhouse their flowers on this moment to understand that they do know talent. They know talent. They usually team with some very good directors and mostly very good horror directors. They have decent writers. I would say their concepts for their films are usually very good. It's execution.
They have great story premises.
Very, very good story premises. Insidious was literally, I remember going to the theater, and when the title comes up, starts with a jump scare, which was insane. And I was like, this movie's going to be nuts. And then my favorite Star Wars character showed up, and Darth Maul was in it. I was so excited. I was like, they know how they're talking to me now. Okay, Blumhouse was speaking to me, and they were like, we're making a film because we know Tom's not feeling the way we're going right now. We're making a movie for him. We're starting with a jump scare. Darth Maul's in the movie. We know he loves Darth Maul. And they're talking to me, and they're making me happy. And again, I really enjoyed the concept. I love the fact that it was like the further and whatnot. I liked Patrick Wilson. I thought he was a very good actor. Plus, again, you slap James Wan's name on shit, you got something. And I feel at that moment, how did you feel about Insidious? Did you enjoy Insidious?
I loved Insidious. Yeah. I have it in my collection, my home collection. I bought the movie. Like, I was so impressed with Insidious when it came out. Sitting in the theater watching Insidious, I felt the fear, like that tightness in my chest at almost every turn of this movie. I'm like, I'm invested in the story. I'm invested in the characters. I'm invested in the plot. I'm invested in the problem. I'm even invested in Darth Maul. I want to know more about his backstory.
Love Darth Maul.
Why he's there. Like,
what is he doing?
And of course, everyone's talking about the scene of him right behind Patrick Wilson.
Fantastic scene.
And that scene is now ingrained in everybody's mind.
I jumped.
Like
I was scared.
A horror scare icon. Like, that scene right there is what everyone remembers from Insidious.
Yes.
And you say Insidious, that's the thought everyone thinks of.
And it's well acted, too. I love that scene, too, because, like, when 100%. The mom is explaining, they're just talking, they're at a table, they're just having a conversation. And then she just looks up and just does that, like a little, and Darth Maul's right there. And I remember seeing it, and I jumped, I jumped, because you don't expect that. You don't expect someone just going to pop up standing. First of all, who stands behind Patrick Wilson like that? Why are you standing behind Patrick Wilson like that? He's not from Star Wars, and he's right there. And I remember jumping, but then I remember stopping and going like, that was just Darth Maul. And then when we see Darth Maul later with hooves, I was like, holy shit, Darth Maul, he got chopped by Obi-Wan Kenobi, gets a pair of hooves, goes into a red door, and now he's chasing fucking Patrick Wilson and the kid Dalton. I was here for it. I was all for it.
The premise they had was very well executed for that movie, so I had high hopes. And every time I saw the Blumhouse logo, I was like, this is going to be fucking good.
I agree. And I think that the next one that they came out with kept me going with excitement because it was Sinister. Yeah. Sinister was fucking one of the best films. I would say one of the best films from them. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because man, again, Scott Dickerson is a phenomenal director. Again, we're teaming with the right people. We got Ethan Hawke in this shit. We're teaming with the right people. He's going to show up later, too. But the main thing is they're getting it. They figured it out. We're going to stick to the horror genre. And keep in mind, they do, and we'll get there, but they do branch off a little bit. But this is the moment where Jason Blum realizes that we could be the horror guys. It's them, Atomic Monster, which was James Wan's company, and they're just playing with each other, going a little back and forth. But they're still cool because obviously they work with each other.
Right. It's like having
Sinister.
two people in the same class doing the same project, but they're obviously picking different topics.
Switching it up a little bit, keeping it interesting. Yeah. And they're being smart. You know, I like the way that they're doing this. Sinister was phenomenal. I really liked Sinister. I've never personally felt like terrified, I guess, in a movie besides some scenes. I think Sinister really brings out fear when it comes to movies. Again, well acted by Ethan Hawke.
It was a phenomenal movie. Like, Sinister, again, was one of those movies that after watching Insidious, sitting down in the theater watching Sinister, I'm like, they know what the hell they're doing. They figured it out. They figured out whatever magic method, and they killed it. It was awesome. I had no doubts about Blumhouse going forward from that.
Yes.
I thought, it's going to be great every time. And then every time you see that logo pop up from a movie trailer, you're like, I need to go see this fucking movie. And Sinister did such a good job with its premise, Bagul living inside of the film. So it's almost like the Ring situation, but instead of the Ring cursing you, it's like the film is cursed itself.
Right. Mr. Boogie. Bagul. He's Mr. Boogie.
Yeah.
I don't like him. I didn't like him. He scared me. He was.
And for it to be like kid killers in there, that's crazy. That was awesome in the moment.
Yeah, and
it's the children.
And Ethan Hawke does not survive. And he's a very brutal way he goes too. Because he was.
They even have the inside joke with the first cop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm forgetting his name, but it was like, what did they keep calling him?
Oh, well, he would move into homes where people were murdered, and he was a writer. So you're talking about Ethan Hawke, what they called Ethan Hawke, right?
No, I'm talking about when the cop that showed up.
The cop, okay.
There was that cop that showed up, and it was like this funny moment between the first Sinister and the second Sinister that they kept that as his name. We do not actually know the name of the cop. They kept calling him something, and it was notated in the credits.
Oh,
it wasn't his actual name.
Yes. And that's James Ranson plays the sheriff. It was like a nobody or something. I know what you're talking about. I don't remember what it was called. It was
the funniest inside joke, and it was just so small in the movie, but I still remembered it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what is this? Because I remember it, but I don't remember the name. I'd have to go back and watch it.
Because he's in the second one.
Yeah.
The second one, if I'm not mistaken,
and they kept it consistent with the second one. It was funny. I was like, wait, we still don't know his name?
Right. That was like maybe Sheriff No Name or some shit. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I remember I did like that. I like the fact that, Ethan Hawke's character was like I said, he was like a serial killer writer, and he goes into these the homes of
that hits home for
people that would die. Yeah, you're a psychopath. You like that fucking shit. That's why you're a creep. Florida's favorite creep. So Sinister hitting the marks. Okay, now keep in mind, during this time, they're also still throwing out more Paranormal Activity movies. At this point, that should have been our hint. Okay, that should have also been another hint. Cash grabbers. Right now, they're giving us, but they're playing with us, Sabrina. They're playing games with us. We're like the kitty cats, and they're dangling the treats and the toys in front of us. Where we're like, ooh, we love this. We want to play with this because you're giving me something great. But on the side, they're doing evil things. They're cash grabbing right now. Jason Blum, no fool. Let me props to this man. Again, we were talking about it before we started recording. This man was on Shark Tank as a shark. So he knows his shit. He's not a fucking idiot.
He has the money.
He's got the money. He has the brains.
He has the knowledge for investments.
Exactly. He knows what he wants to do. And he knows how to cash grab. Because at this point, as we are invested, we're thinking, man, Blumhouse, you guys are killing it. I'm loving Blumhouse right now. We're not realizing, though, on the side, they're playing games. And this is going to eventually come back to haunt us. That's the key. Appreciation to what they're giving us, but we're not seeing the full picture. Because there's Jason Blum on the side going, another paranormal activity, another paranormal activity, another paranormal activity, money, 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 as we're going, wow, Sinister's a really good movie.
But it's funny that you mentioned this, because in real time, when I was watching Sinister and I was in love with Insidious, and I'm like, all these movies are right here, the direction going forward. I thought, they're just throwing out paranormal activities like cards just to see if they can get more money because it was the highest grossing film for them. So I'm like, all right, they're continuing the story, whatever that's happening over here. I can ignore that, and that's fine. I'm focusing on these movies. They're going to make more of these movies.
Yes.
And they dropped the ball.
They did. They're still hot. This is like at this moment, they're still pretty hot because they come out with Lords of Salem, so they're teaming with Rob Zombie now. So again, we're teaming with the right people. That's what we want to see. Then they come out with The Purge. They slap their name on The Purge, which was
Didn't know that was going to be another fucking franchise.
Who'd they team with on that one? Ethan Hawke. We're getting Ethan Hawke back. And you know what? I enjoyed the first Purge movie. I thought the concept was fucking cool. Again, we're hitting concepts too. Blumhouse is doing their job. They're putting money where they need to put it. So, again, we're still on the hype right now. We're going with them and we're flying along because next comes Insidious Chapter 2. James Wan's back. We got Patrick Wilson back. Now he's a woman. It's crazy. Shit's getting nuts. Okay? The ending of the first film was dope. We needed a sequel. James Wan returns. We're going to have fun with that one. So again, we're on a good roller coaster right now. Lords of Salem, The Purge, Insidious Chapter 2. We're having a grand old time. Are you having fun at this moment, Sabrina? You're back in the Blumhouse game. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Again, it's me focusing on the good parts of it, ignoring that paranormal activity was still going on in the background and saying, listen, if it has a Blumhouse logo on it, I'm seeing that movie because they're hitting. They are hitting so hard. It's home runs almost every fucking time. The premises are great. The movies are coming out at a consistent pace, but not so much that it's shotgunned at me.
Right. Yeah, we're getting three
give me a minute.
Here.
Yeah.
4 to 3.
It's like the slow burn of I am looking forward to going and seeing a Blumhouse movie every time it comes out.
That's right.
At this point.
They're giving us opportunity to breathe, which I think is a huge thing. It's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a sense where we're not able to breathe. That's why you get that fatigue where you're like, I don't even want it anymore. Like, you got a new one coming.
Drop.
Yeah, and you do very much see that drop. Now, again, what we're not understanding is as we're getting excited for these movies, with 3 to 4 movies, we're like, yes, I'm going to the theater to pay for it. Blumhouse is on this shit. I'm fucking watching it. Insidious Chapter 2, going to theater. Why? James Wan's fucking involved in this. Atomic Monster, Blumhouse. We're going to have some fun with this. And at that moment, they're also still doing paranormal activity is still occurring. Again, they're still making some money because Jason Blum's not a fool, still making some money. Still on the side. He's making lots of money at this moment. Keep in mind, because he's dropping hits. But he's like, we're still going to make a little bit more money. It doesn't cost that much to do paranormal activity. The name itself is making money for them. Even though it's getting much worse as we go along, just
as a reminder, $15,000 to make that first movie. That's pocket change to him at this point.
Yeah.
So even if the next movie had a little bit of a bigger budget, let's say $25,000, that's still pocket change to him from all these hitters that he's getting. Like, he can make paranormal activity till the day he dies and spend not even a quarter of what he has from these bigger movies.
Right.
Those can happen in the background. I don't care. That's like an update in the background while I'm doing my other things on my computer. That's nothing.
That's right. I have to agree.
And he's still getting money from them.
And he's doing great, too.
It's almost like
doing his job.
Funneling money into paranormal activity so that the money coming back from it he can make for these bigger films.
Yeah, I mean, actually, that makes a lot of sense, too, because taking that money now, he can utilize that money that he's gaining to pay better directors, to get the better actors involved, and then push the limits, which is fine. That's a business, and he's a very smart man. He knows what he's doing. He's proven it. This company is one of the biggest companies in the entertainment industry. especially when it comes to movies, because here's where things start to get a little rocky. Now, when you get to around 2014, he went from like 3 to 4 movies a year to like he's on about 11 right now. And for 2014, I checked out the list. Okay, in 2014, it starts with a Paranormal Activity, by the way. So we're starting off fucking strong right there. We know there's a problem.
Even if we ignore that,
we'll ignore it just because. But there's a movie that came right after that, because at that moment he teams with a very good horror director, a director that's one of my personal favorites in the horror genre, and that's Mike Flanagan. I love Mike Flanagan because they did Oculus. Did you see Oculus?
I was just about to say, Oculus is on my list of goods. I loved Oculus.
Great movie.
That is one of the standalones to me. Like, did they make a sequel?
Not that I know of.
Me neither. It is such a good standalone movie, and they didn't have to dip their hands into a sequel.
No,
they didn't need a second movie to, go back and say, wait, there's more to the story. It was the perfect standalone horror film.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, Blumhouse doesn't have a lot of standalones. They always have to do sequels. They always have to do like prequels. And
yes,
this one's just so contained in itself, and it was perfect. In 2014, I freaking loved Oculus.
Me too. Karen Gillian's in it. Young Karen Gillian.
She's fucking hot.
Yes, she's very hot. Mike Flanagan really hasn't even picked up yet at this point, and we know as Flanagan goes on, it gets even better. But I don't know if you know this. Did you know that this is a WWE film?
I'm sorry?
WWE, the wrestling company, right? Vince McMahon, well, he's no longer there, but WWE Studios, because they had their own, they did See No Evil when Kane was in it. They did The Condemned with Stone Cold. They did all that shit. If you go to Oculus, it is a WWE film. WWE Studios was involved with this. To me, it's the best movie they were ever involved in. Yes. So here's what's funny. Now, the estate that they go to in the film is called the Levesque Estate. That's Triple H's real name, Paul Levesque.
Oh, wow.
So there's hints. Mike Flanagan put hints in the movie that it has something to do with wrestling by allowing them to utilize Paul Levesque's name, Triple H's name. So the estate is called the Levesque Estate, which is crazy. Triple H's real name, his last name. His name is Paul Levesque. Yeah, how fucking crazy is that? WWE is involved with Blumhouse. What's going on here?
So Blumhouse literally has fishing lines out to every other company.
They're tagging in everyone.
WWE?
Yes, they're tagging everyone in this shit right now. They're putting together a fucking Avengers Endgame film to destroy M. Night Shyamalan. But eventually they're
coming in with a folding chair on that one.
The flaming tables as well. Hardy Boy status on this one. They're ready to fucking fight. And here's the thing. After that, it starts to get rough. And you ended up mentioning with Blumhouse, they like to do sequels. They like to do prequels. When they do their standalone films, they're usually very good. The solos, the first ones that we get, like you said, like Sinister, Insidious. I liked Insidious Chapter 2, but the first Insidious is obviously better.
Hands down.
Oculus. These movies, solo films, are hits. And then they start to push their luck. The Purge, phenomenal. Then we get The Purge Anarchy. Now we're starting to just do shit to do shit. We're changing the rules in the game in the long run, and I don't like that. I like creativity, but again, the cash grabbing is starting to come out a little more now. Now you're starting to see the change where they're really starting to cash grab. Did you see The Purge Anarchy?
I did.
Okay, what did you think of the movie?
I barely remember it.
Okay, so that proves that it wasn't really that good.
It wasn't good. I remember bits and pieces of it because I remember just kind of like half being on my phone while it was going on because I'm like, all right. I hate to say it. The Purge was great. The first movie, great. Great concept, great story, great acting, great execution of a vision. the more you delve into it, the dumber it fucking gets.
Because it's just like a killer movie, you know, like The Warriors, but like we're going to actually murder people.
Well, not even that, because again, at this point, how long has the purge been going on?
So the purge
Everyone should be fucking prepared by now.
1,000%.
There shouldn't be any shit happening.
Well,
like, if there's still people getting killed and shit happening, it's like, you just don't watch the news at all, do you? You don't know what the purge is.
Well, how long? All right, so the original purge was the night, like one night. It was for the purge. I think Anarchy is what, 24 hours, like one full day.
Yes.
Okay, and this one's a little more like gorier. This is where like Frank Grillo's in it. I like Frank Grillo. You know, that's.
I love the gore.
Yeah, I'm.
You know
cool
me.
with
I love the gore. That's never.
And the cool masks. We got cool masks now. You know, light up masks and shit. So that's fun. I like that part. But again, it's just a death fest in the long run. We're just going to kill a bunch of people. That's why I said like the Warriors. When you watch the Warriors, there is just a bunch of gangs popping up, and then people do die in the Warriors. It's just not a gore fest, but that's what this movie became. It's just like, hey, we're going to shoot you. We're going to hit you with some chainsaws. We're going to have Frank Grillo just start fucking murdering people, which, you know, it's Frank Grillo, so you're kind of you're down for it. This is a turn your brain off movie and just watch people die. You could have a good time with it, though, but it's not The Purge. Not the first one, at least.
Right. It doesn't have the same feel anymore. It's like, how many times can you watch a commercial before you skip it? You know?
Very good, yeah.
How many times can I watch this same movie get played out in different scenarios before I just stop watching them?
Right. Yes. And
did you watch the Forever Purge?
No, I stopped after. Honestly, I checked out Anarchy, and I didn't want to continue from there.
Same.
I just don't.
That's all you need to know.
Maybe with this show we could do that. You know, we have to do stuff like that. We have to venture off into the history of film. We have to venture off to the history of horror, and The Purge plays a big factor. And I think that it does deserve its own episode. But that's not happening right now. That may happen eventually. You know, we'll get there in a kind of sense. We'll see. But again, so they did something like, you know, you give us The Purge, Anarchy. They're not hitting strides. But then, October 10th of 2014, they released a film that you, Sabrina, you have not seen this movie. And I told you, you have to go watch this movie. And it's called Whiplash. Whiplash is not a horror movie. Blumhouse did not giving me horror at this point. And I didn't know this was a Blumhouse film. I didn't see it when it first came out. I saw it later. And I remember sitting there watching it. J.K. Simmons is in it. Miles Teller is in it. It has to do with like music, jazz, and like how fucking a person will give up pretty much their whole life just to be appreciated by somebody who's their hero in a sense. And J.K. Simmons won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor in this film. They were nominated for Best Picture. They won multiple awards for this. This movie was fantastic. It is a must-watch, and I didn't know Blumhouse was involved. I own this shit, and Blumhouse is on it. Crazy.
That's the interesting thing, because we talk about Blumhouse being like a visionary for horror films. Mm-hmm. We're not looking for them in regular, I like to call them everyday films.
Yeah.
Like, we're not looking for them in everyday films. We're not looking for them in Whiplash. We're not looking for them in Tooth Fairy. We're looking for them in horror. So when they started branching off to non-horror films, we didn't know they were there. Mm-hmm. So when you go back and look through their catalog, you're like, wait, that's not a horror film. That's not a horror film. That was a really good film, and it's not a horror film. So for you, even just mentioning, like, hey, you didn't know they did Whiplash. How were we supposed to know? We're looking for them in the horror genre.
That's right. They're very smart by them, actually, I will say.
It's a very smart move. Branch out the feelers. Yeah, throw somebody a plate and say, hey, you know, fill it. Let's bring it to the potluck. Let's go.
Yeah. They found themselves being nominated, you know, for Academy Awards at this point. Yeah. Where that if it would have won Best Picture, that fucking Jason Blum would have found himself with an Academy Award because they are the production company. Mm-hmm. Insane. And, you know, this they were hitting rocky times at this moment. They were dropping bombs. Because like I said, this is when they started throwing fucking 11, 12, 15 movies out a year. And then now at this point, they're just slapping their fucking name on shit. I'm just throwing out a couple of movies, you know. If you've seen them, you've seen them. Ouija. Have you seen Ouija? The first one.
Have.
Okay. That movie's garbage.
First one.
Yes, the first one.
I did not see the second one because the first one was garbage.
Watch the second one. The second one's good. I'll tell you that. Second one.
Really?
Yes. Second one is very good. The second one is a million. It's weird, but it's good. They figured it out. It's kind of like Annabelle, how you watch the first Annabelle, you're like, this movie shit, and then you watch the second one, you go, that was actually pretty good. That's how this one is. Funny enough, the girl that's in that second Annabelle is in the second Ouija, and I seen she was in it. Was like, she's a good actress. So is Elliot from Henry Thomas. Elliot from E.T. He's in Ouija, Origin of Evil. It's good.
What the fuck?
It's very good. Especially comparing it to the first one. The Boy Next Door, Jennifer Lopez.
I did not see that.
Good. I didn't see it either. The Lazarus.
I'm not a J-Lo fan.
Oh, well, I mean, honestly, neither am I. The Lazarus Effect. Have you seen The Lazarus Effect?
I did. I really liked The Lazarus Effect.
I thought that was not too bad, too. Childish Gambino was in that movie. Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Yeah. He dies.
Love him.
I do. I like him, too. I'm a big fan of him.
It was a real fucked up movie. Like, the deaths in that movie were...
Yeah, pretty intense. That's Olivia... What was her name again? Olivia Wilde. Yes, that's right. She's in that. She's a badass bitch in that one. Fucked up situation that happens, but very good. A great time, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
For a movie that wasn't pushed out as much, more independent, more side-based. Again, this is like a side project for them. Blumhouse, again,
is that another one that was a standalone?
Yes, this is a standalone, at least from my understanding, it's standalone. Everybody dies at it.
Well, yes, but like you could always recreate the same experiment.
Yeah, I don't think they did. I don't and if they did, I didn't see it. If they did, I didn't see it. Another film that they came with that I was surprised and really enjoyed was Unfriended. Did you see Unfriended?
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
Really?
It's one of those things of like webcam footage. I have a thing about found footage and like webcam footage in movies. Like it's fine if it's like bits and pieces, but I hate when it's like a whole thing. So like I do have, things to talk about that on a different episode, different topic.
Sure, that's fair. We'll
I did not watch it because I'm always skeptical about it.
It's very good. I would say don't watch the second one. The first one, because it's the first time that they did that with the whole Zoom and whatnot. And there's another movie called Host, which takes it to another fucking level, especially with pandemic and whatnot. That movie's really good. We need to do an episode on that one.
I would love to do an episode on Host.
Host. Oh, so you've seen Host?
I have.
Whoa!
Host is
scared the shit out of me. Scared me. I got scared during that movie because that movie was.
We gotta do an episode on Host.
I think Mr. Malave will be very scared if he gets to stop looking at the damn clips. You fucking idiot! He's still looking at it. I'm trying.
I mean, he's not floating, so I'm.
That's Stranger Things. That's what I was thinking. Stranger Things, like Vector. He's like, if he starts we got to put on a Mr. Malave song or something and throw the headphones on him, and then maybe he'll come down. Got some sort of shit, but he's fine right now. He's just still staring into the fucking eclipse, but whatever. Anyway,
we'll cross that bridge when we burn it.
Right. Unfriended, I definitely think a fun movie. Good time. The way they do it, the suicide and whatnot, and it plays a factor, and where things just start, the demon or entity starts to hack into everything. It gets insane. So for a first throw at the wall, I'd say this was a success. I had a very good time with the movie. And, I think we should definitely do something involving found footage and whatnot with the cameras.
Oh, I have a topic for it.
Oh, very good. Then we will get there.
That's a later.
That's fine. We'll get there. No reason to dive too deep into it. Then they start to kind of throw a little crazy shit out there. We're starting to get Insidious Chapter 3. We're getting Sinister 2. We're starting to get those sequels. And we're starting to get
the many sequels.
Yeah, Sabrina, it's getting rough right now because now they're dragging us in because of names. They're using the name to drag us in, and we're thinking, cool. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've seen Insidious Chapter 3. I didn't like it. But Sinister 2 was possibly one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
It was more kind of horror comedy.
Yes.
And you don't really get that from the first one. So for it to change genres a little bit, it's weird.
1,000%. Like, what are you doing here? You just, I was so disappointed in the second one, and you
I
dragged
was
me
too.
in because of the name. You gave me Sinister. I thought, sweet, Mr. Boogie's coming back. I loved the Bagool.
I remember the name of the police officer.
Oh, what is it?
Officer so-and-so.
So-and-so, yes, Officer so. Officer so.
Because he
Officer so-and-so.
refused to call him by his name, so he's just like, whatever. And he's like, oh, can you mention me in your book? And he's like, yeah, Officer so-and-so.
Officer so-and-so.
And that is in the credits of the second Sinister movie.
Very nice.
In the credits, it says Officer so-and-so and then the guy's name.
Very nice, very nice. I like that. Officer so-and-so, yeah. James Ransone. He was actually in the It Chapter 2. He was Eddie. He's very, he's in another Blumhouse movie with Ethan Hawke as well, but we're not there yet. We're not going to talk about that one just yet. We're getting there because we're getting close, because a movie came out that you really enjoyed. You like this movie. The director, I don't like the director. He's an asshole. He's a piece of shit. M. Night Shyamalan and Ding Dong teams up with Blumhouse to come out with The Visit.
Yep.
You liked The Visit.
I do like this movie. It was weird because I didn't think I would. When I first saw trailers and stuff, I'm just like, who the fuck doesn't check if your kids make it to their destination, like with your parents or whatever.
Yeah.
And I always thought that concept in the movie was stupid, because it's like, I don't care what type of family drama you have. If you're sending your kids to go see your parents that you haven't seen in forever, you should at least confirm that they made it physically with them.
Correct.
Hated that part of the rest of it. I love that it plays on sundowning for dementia, like Alzheimer's patients. I absolutely love that concept. It was so fresh to me. It was so new that it's like, hey, there's actually nothing horrific going on here. It's nothing like she's possessed. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah.
It's literally just a thing that can happen in actual life.
Sure.
When you reach that certain age. It was just so good to me. I thought that was well executed. I thought it was well done, and I'm not going to review the entire movie, but I enjoyed The Visit overall. It's not a high rating, but it's a good rating.
It's an M. Night Shyamalan film, so I didn't watch it because I just was like, I can't do this no more with him. And I'm sure
there's creepy scenes in it. There's
I'm sure there is, and I'm sure I will eventually watch it, maybe for the show, maybe for my own personal time, just to put it on my list. But I know it's M. Night Shyamalan, and immediately at that point I was done with him. I'm still done with him. So I ventured off. I said, no, I'm not doing this. I hear a lot of people kept telling me, they were like, no, this is Return, the M. Night Shyamalan Return. And I'm like, okay, first off, this movie cannot be compared. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't compare it to Signs or The Sixth Sense. You're out of your fucking mind. And they're like, no, it's the Return of M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. And I said, but he did The Last Airbender.
Not a return.
It's not a return.
It's not a return. It was just a one-off, oh, that was actually pretty decent.
And it could be because Blumhouse was involved. It could be because Blumhouse was involved. Blumhouse probably gave him... But here's the problem with M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong is he likes to write his own movies. Blumhouse probably came in and was like, hold on a second. You're not writing this shit. We're going to write it, and then you can just direct it. He's very good behind the camera.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Rob Zombie.
Is great, but his stories fucking suck.
His twists are garbage. Garbage fucking twists. So it's possible Blumhouse stepped in and said, hey, listen, we're going to review your shit. We're not just going to let you release The Last Airbender. It's not going to happen. You're not releasing Lady in the Water anymore. Go away. So he gave out. But yeah, they threw that movie out there. The Green Inferno, which was an Eli Roth film about cannibals, came out.
Yeah.
That movie was pretty
Fucking
sick. That was Eli Roth, though. He's just a sick fuck. And
I mean, you don't know this about me yet, but any cannibal movie, that is my bread and butter.
I'm sure it is, because you're a fucking psychopath. That I can understand that. That's just, yeah, that's just terrible. Now, here's the thing. At this point in time, we're about around 2016. They are going to start throwing bombs right now. They are going to start hitting strong. Remember how I mentioned Ouija, Origin of Evil? That's the second Ouija movie. I didn't know this. I guess, maybe when I watched it, I was like, oh my God, this is a Mike Flanagan movie.
Really?
That's why it was better, because fucking Flanagan knows what to do. He's a fucking G when it comes to directing horror. Mike Flanagan was the director of Ouija, Origin of Evil, with Blumhouse being attached, and this movie is very good.
Okay.
And we won't,
so now I got to give it a shot.
Yes, and now they're gonna start fucking shooting some machine guns right now because we're getting some hits. Okay, Split is coming out. M. Night Shyamalan, Ding Dong. He threw out a good movie. I like Split. I thought Split was very good.
I love Split. Split was so good.
Can keep in mind, Split was good because of James McAvoy.
Yes.
Concept,
but my God,
awesome concept. It's a great movie.
It was good. It was so good.
That to
I
me
was invested
made me go
the entire time from start to finish of that movie.
Yeah, that made me think to myself when I seen it. I was like, oh no, it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie, but Professor X is in the movie, and I kind of like Professor X, so I sat there and I watched it, and I'm like, this is really good. This is really good.
Yep.
And it was mainly because of James McAvoy. So I looked at it and I was like, I'm not sold yet on M. Night Shyamalan. Not sold. But you're getting me the little interest back. Like my shoulder's kind of leaning your way a little bit. As long as James McAvoy's in the movie, I'll see you there.
I'm not leaning towards him, but my chair is slightly turned in his direction so I can hear him a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm starting to kind of like just turn a little bit.
If you're in a picture, you're in a board meeting and he's like off to the side on your right. You're not looking at him, but your chair is slightly turned so you can at least see him in your peripheral.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I agree. That's exactly the feeling I got because after they did Split, they teamed with Jordan Peele and threw out Get Out.
Yep.
What? They gave us Get Out, and Get Out, as we know, was a fucking smash.
I loved Get Out. I loved more that came from it, and then it flopped. But like just talking about the present, I loved Get Out.
Me too.
It was fresh. It was new.
Definitely.
It was scary.
Not for me. I was very safe in that movie.
You were. Yeah.
I was safe. I was like me as
You're
I'm watching it.
safe.
I'm like I would never be afraid in this movie. But this movie had phenomenal acting in it.
If we talk about like, would you survive that horror film? Tommy's just chilling.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm not even there. I'm not rich enough to be there. Okay, so I'm not even involved in this shit. And
you don't even know what's happening.
I don't even know what's going on. All right, I don't.
Even
know
if the movie's 100%, you're not even invited to the party.
I'm still not there. I love and this brings up Jordan Peele's directing, the writing that's coming with it. There are certain things in that movie that are just so fucking good. The mom and 40-year-old virgin is in it, and she's the fucking bitch, and she's fucking great in it. I love the fact, and I didn't think about this, and I'm sure you've obviously seen it. I know you remember this scene. Remember when she's sitting there on her bed eating cereal, and she's like picking her next victim in a sense, which, by the way, great fucking twist. I did not see that coming. I don't know if you saw that coming. I didn't see it coming.
Not even a little.
So I love the twist. But notice that she's eating Fruit Loops, right? So you remember she's eating the cereal, but she's eating Fruit Loops, but she doesn't have any milk in the Fruit Loops. The milk is separate.
The crunching is so loud, and it's funny that she's eating the cereal dry and then like sips the milk because I
fucking do that. Oh, well, do you know the meaning behind that? Do you know why Jordan Peele made her do that? There is a reason before it.
No,
because you got to separate the colors from the whites.
Because that's such an interesting take, and I love that that's there because it's definitely like into the movie. I do it because I don't like soggy cereal.
That's funny. Mr. A-Town, though we know he's not listening, if he was here right now, he would be just looking at you and being like, so, you like to separate your colors from your whites? And then you can be like, no, first off, yes, when you got to do your laundry, sometimes you have to separate your colors from your whites.
But also, Fruit Loops needs milk because that's what gives it that like fruity, like...
right, yes.
It's not just like dry. Yes. Dry, it all tastes the same. You get the fruit sensation when you add the milk. But just like Life cereal,
yes,
like Fruity Pebbles, I refuse to add milk to because it just gets soggy too quick. So I'll just separate it.
Understandable.
Whatever. Soggy cereal versus like what she did. When I saw her do that on screen, I'm like, hold up.
You're like, that's
is this
me.
A psychopath thing or is this like
that's
meant
me.
To be something else?
So at that moment,
so the fact that you just explained it to me, I'm like, holy shit.
So at that moment, now we know that when you did that, you didn't realize you were hating black people at that point.
No, I didn't realize.
You didn't realize that.
That way was racist.
She didn't know that, ladies and gentlemen. She had no idea that eating cereal that way is racist, according to Jordan Peele, by the way.
Eating Fruit Loops and
Do not mix your color and your whites. I didn't realize that. And then when I'm watching, I thought it was interesting because I've never seen it. Well, now I know this is another person that does it, but I've never seen anybody eat cereal that way, where they would just eat the cereal and then, they would go and have like a glass of milk on the side. But then when it was explained why she does that, because that's why she's eating Fruit Loops, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right. But hey, very good. Right? Very good writing on there. And it turns out that's how you eat cereal, Sabrina. So,
Great writing. Not every cereal, but,
certain cereals.
The ones that get soggy real quick.
Right. Cocoa Pebbles. Like the Cocoa Pebbles, right?
The Cocoa Pebbles,
of course,
the
Fruity separate
Pebbles,
the two.
The Life cereal.
That's understandable, though, because when they get soggy, it's gross.
Right.
It's fucking nasty.
I like the crunch.
I agree.
But,
well, let's get away from Get Out before the world thinks you're truly racist, and we don't want that. They came out with...
I am a Heinz 57.
Mr. A-Town, where are you when I need you? They came out, in my opinion, with... Now, this movie got overshadowed because of Split and Get Out. This, to me, is a hidden gem from Blumhouse, The Belko Experiment.
Oh, my God.
That's right.
I love The Belko Experiment.
Fucking
I was just telling my boyfriend about this.
Love The Belko
He hasn't seen it. I'm getting him to watch it.
Oh my God,
I'm so excited
watch this
for it.
movie. Me and Mr. A-Town, we were doing a show. We were trying some new concepts a while ago. It was called Growing Up with Movies, and we did The Belko Experiment. And Mr. A-Town, really liked that movie because you know who's in it? Dr. Cox is in the movie. Dr. Cox.
I'm glad he liked it because he should. It's a good-ass movie.
It is a James Gunn right there.
Yeah.
James Gunn wrote that shit. Greg McLean. Greg McLean was the director. He does comedy. The Office.
That's the fun
Parks
thing
and
about
Rec.
it is it's very Office-centered,
Love
as
it.
we know.
Love it.
So it has that element of like, this could be a comedy or it could be a horror film.
It's
and
both.
it does a real good job about not crossing the lines into horror comedy.
Yeah.
It either is or it isn't. And it's just, you have both of the elements there present without them overlapping.
How about that cast? All-star cast.
Great.
All-star cast. Dr. Cox is in this movie. The guy from Ghost is in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, what's his name? What the fuck is his name? I always forget his name. Is it not John Gallagher? Oh, Tony Goldwyn. Tony Goldwyn is in this movie. Michael Rooker is in this movie.
I love Michael Rooker.
Yes! He's fucking great in this movie. And he's not in it that long, but the concept of the movie. First off, I'm waiting for Belko 2. I'm waiting for the second movie because it ends in a certain way where we're not done yet. It's going towards the Hunger Games in a sense. But yeah,
it's company wide, not
movie's
just one
fucking
branch.
dope. Like, this shit was fire, and I would love to talk about this movie again on this show. Get Mr. A-Town on it because I know for a fact he really enjoyed that movie. So, and that'll be more future because it's like another we'll get there kind of thing. Plus, you got to have Doug watch it because the fucking
100%.
movie is dope. And here's the thing about it. It just starts. It's like, here we are, here's the setting, and shit gets real. And once it gets real, it's over.
Almost like Office Space to me.
Yes, it does.
Very Office Space starting out, and then just shit hits the fan immediately. It's like, all right, it's go time.
All for that shit. So yeah, listen, they're throwing out, they got the 2 hits that hit. They give me an underground fucking hit, in my personal opinion. And as the year goes on, we get Happy Death Day, which again, I loved it. I had a great time with it. Love the concept.
I love the first one.
Yeah, yes, I love the first one.
It was new. It was great.
Yes, I agree.
I have no qualms about that first one. It was adequate and up to my standards.
Well, and then eventually we're about to get to that because things are about to get a little rough right now again. They're throwing the hits out. Here's the thing. We get in 4 good hits. And that's fine. And that's the problem. They're still throwing about 15 movies out. 4 good hits
that aren't sequels.
Very good. They're not sequels.
4 good hits that aren't sequels. So you're getting a fresh new idea.
Right. Yes, 1,000%. Very true. And again, we're getting that sense where they're throwing 15, 16, 17 movies out that they're slapping their name on again. But 4 of them are hitting, which maybe if they stuck to the concept of being, hey, 1 a quarter, they could be the fucking name of horror, of just movies in general, mostly horror, because that's their big go-to. Because
their MO.
Yeah, exactly. And as they continue on, we get movies like Truth or Dare. You know, we get movies like The First Purge. Here we go. Truth or Dare was absolute garbage. Truth or Dare was fucking shit.
Didn't watch it.
Don't watch it. The First Purge. Look good. It was fucking shit. It's just a fucking prequel. Unfriended, The Dark Web. It's a fucking sequel. We're hurting right now.
They're shotgunning out the sequels and the prequels as much as they can for these names that did well for the first movie.
Cash grabbing all day. And then, you know, we're going to cash grab. And then, in my opinion, another hidden gem shows up in The Black Klansman, directed by Spike Lee. Denzel Washington's son is in this movie. He's great in this fucking movie. Adam Driver is in this movie. He's great in this fucking movie. Again, we're bringing names. We're bringing great acting we're bringing great actors and actresses, and we're bringing great directors. Spike Lee right here. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first movie that Spike Lee won an Oscar for, which I believe it was for Black Klansman. Black Klansman was really fucking good. Topher Grace is in this fucking movie.
Right?
Good fucking movie. Good fucking movie. And then they came out in October 19th of 2018. We got a phone call, a video call, an announcement from a gentleman by the name of David Gordon Green. And he said, me and Danny McBride are going to team up. David Gordon Green did Pineapple Express, super bad. We were like, oh, this is going to be great. And what movie did they do, Sabrina? Halloween. They did Halloween. They gave us Halloween. They brought back. Let me not even say they gave us. They didn't.
I'll say this. They did not give me Halloween. They gave me a Halloween-themed
a sequel, too. Technically, this would be a sequel to the original. That's, I think, what they were trying to say is from 2 on doesn't exist.
Yeah, the canonic timeline.
Yeah, right, because they do start making all these fucking different timelines with this one. So we get Jamie Lee Curtis returns. And we get Halloween back. Now, we're going to sit here for a minute because what did you think?
Of Halloween? 2018?
Yeah. Yes.
Garbage.
Garbage?
Absolute trash.
How about shot-wise, like film-wise? Behind camera.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, I have to agree. It was beautiful.
The camera work is fantastic.
I agree.
The story is shit. Again, it's the problem of you have a really great direction and shit content.
Yeah.
You can't... I was so disappointed. I love Halloween. So for it to come out, I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. Like it's up there for me. Mm-hmm. It's like top 5. So I'm like, all right, let's at least give it a shot. And it looks great.
Yeah, it's beautifully shot. It's nice to see Michael back.
There's nothing else I could see about it.
It's nice to see
Michael is great, but
bad writing.
If you don't give Michael the stage he deserves, he's just there.
And I feel that the writing in this movie is better than the other two.
For sure.
Because we ruin our final girl, and as the movies continue, we ruin her. She's different. She's completely different in all 3 movies. You know, and it's not progression to the point you're like, that doesn't make sense. How do you go from here to here to here? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Michael's different in all 3 movies. He doesn't change personality.
Like to argue that they're not meant to be consecutive. They're not even meant to be in the same wheelhouse. Like, yes, they are Halloween movies. They're supposed to be canonically in order, but it feels like every time they made one or they threw one out, it was supposed to be like, oh, well, here's your character now. It's like, well, why is my character that? And they just go, well, that's how she's written.
That's just what's going to happen.
It's almost like somebody said, "Here, can I copy your homework?" And you said, "Yeah, just don't make it obvious." So it's almost like copy paste, but the characters are different.
Yep.
Even though they're supposed to be the same. It doesn't feel cohesive to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. I have to agree in that sense. I feel the first one out of the three is the strongest one. Again,
and that's
beautifully
sad
shot.
because it was trash.
I'd love to hear what Mr. Malave has to say. He's still out there, but I know what he loves Halloween, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he actually really enjoyed the 2018 comeback from it. But
yes,
I believe he did.
I'm sure we'd be having a
good conversation,
deeper discussion on it.
Well, that'll be very fun. We'll eventually get to talk about that one too, because Halloween deserves its own time. Another movie that comes out from M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, Glass. Glass found its way out. I didn't like it. I thought it was shit.
It was. It's definitely the weakest one out of a trilogy.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. 1,000%. I have to agree.
Yeah.
Just
weakest.
They put them all together. We're thinking we're going to have some fun with it. And I didn't like it. I thought it was very weak. Happy Death Day 2
They had something
up.
good there, but it didn't.
Good.
land.
Yes. Good concept. We had the good characters that could be involved that we can have fun with it, but they tried to make it too serious when it was more superhero-y type of film. Hence what Unbreakable was.
Yeah.
It was superheroes.
Yeah.
So they made it to try to make it too serious, and mistake. I don't know if that's an M. Night move or that's a Blumhouse move, but somebody made a bad move. Somebody went left when they should have went right. Happy Death Day 2 shows up. You even said you weren't the biggest fan of the sequel anyway. The first one's way better.
I love the first one. I did not see the second one.
Oh, you didn't see it? Okay. I saw it. It was fine. It wasn't anything special. Jordan Peele's Us comes out after that one.
I loved that movie.
I thought it was okay.
I
wasn't sitting there like too crazy about it, but it was whatever,
I'm a big fan. Like I think the twist was
doppelganger
exactly
shit
that
like
movie needed. Yeah. Well, not even just that. The twist where it's like, oh, well, actually the mom has been the doppelganger this whole time.
The switch.
That switch. I think that's exactly what that movie needed.
Okay.
Exactly. Like that they had a series stem off of it. I haven't watched the series yet, but
I'm sorry,
interested.
Wait, there's a series off of that?
Yeah. Them. Yeah. Are you just now hearing about this? Hold on.
Yeah? What are we talking about? Never heard this. Them? I've heard of they. Or they're from or whatever. Them? What are you talking about? TV series Them. 2001. Oh my God, is it really? I never knew that.
It's a little anthology series.
Oh, never knew that. How interesting. Oh. Okay. Something you learn. Didn't know that.
Haven't watched it yet, but I am very interested.
Yeah,
in it.
that sounds something that I would probably check. Well, I'm not a big fan of Us, but maybe something to check out. I feel another underrated movie that they came out with, Ma. Have you ever seen Ma?
I haven't seen Ma yet. I haven't had the means to.
Very
I do
underrated.
now, but...
Very, very underrated. Very good movie. Then
it looks very eerie.
It's weird, eerie. Like you're like, it's just, I can't really explain. You have to kind of watch it. Well acted. Right. Well acted though.
I love the actress that plays Ma.
Yes, that is Octavia Spencer.
Yes.
Yeah, she's very good.
I love her work.
Yeah, I love her too. She's phenomenal. Phenomenal actress. Now, things are going to get really rough as we really head into these years. Here's the thing. To finish off the year of 2019, Blumhouse decided to give us a remake of fucking Black Christmas. And it was girl power Black Christmas. And it was absolute garbage.
So I remember us talking about this movie around Christmas last year, where I hadn't seen it. And you and Matt have both told me how absolute trash it is.
Garbage.
And because of that, I still haven't watched it.
Garbage. Disappointing. The Black Christmas.
Not even on my radar.
Black Christmas is a phenomenal slasher film. Phenomenal fucking horror movie. And this shit was like with sororities, which obviously Black Christmas is a sorority, but they go into this deeper, like where it's like it's the sisterhood, which is fine. Listen, I'm cool with girl power films as long as it's done correctly. Pants? They should have. They should have had traveling pants. They should have had fucking, traveling pants. They should have had fucking Spice Girls should have showed up. Like somebody should have fucking really shown some more girl power in this, because damn, this movie is fucking absolutely horrible. It's garbage. It's trash. They should be ashamed of themselves for even slapping their name on it. But unfortunately, they did. Because after that, they came out with Fantasy Island. I don't know if you know about Fantasy Island, but it was a television show back in the day.
Yeah.
And it was a fun show. It was fun.
That's the show my mom used to watch.
A little midget in there. He's funny. It's not a horror movie, but they turned it into a horror movie. And who's in it? Michael Pena. He's the bad guy.
Well, I was very confused when it was coming out. I was like, wait, are they giving Fantasy Island a movie? Like it's going to be kind of a lighthearted, happy-go-lucky comedy.
Yeah, no, they took
and then for it to be a horror film, I'm like, wait a minute.
They took
what are we doing?
A different fucking route, which fuck them for doing that, because that shit was garbage. Then came a movie, you haven't seen it yet, and it was The Invisible Man. 2020 is Invisible Man.
You speak very highly of this.
Oh my God.
And I've seen the original. I just haven't seen this remake.
Phenomenal. I'm not touching on it anymore because we spoke about it before we recorded. And if you haven't seen it, all the students, if you haven't seen it, shut the fuck up and go watch the fucking movie, because we will talk about it on a later episode. I'm gonna start throwing out some other shitty movies. The Craft, Legacy, fucking trash. Why? We ended up getting free.
I wanted it to be good.
Okay, that wasn't happening. Come on, you didn't get no better than that. We got Freaky, which you didn't see Freaky, but I did, and I liked it. And the Freaky was really good. We got The Forever Purge.
Different horror spin on Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday with Vince Vaughn. It's a Christopher Landon, and Christopher Landon, he's the one that's been doing like Happy Death Day and all that other ones. So he's very good at directing these kind of films, and it works with Blumhouse. It's fine. I get the vibe of Blumhouse when I see these kind of movies. We got The Forever Purge again. Fucking sequels. Cash grab all fucking night. Then let's go. Oh, here comes Halloween Kills. Gotta love that one, right? Halloween Kills gets dropped. Paranormal Activity Next of Kin gets dropped. House
now,
on
at this
the
point,
Bayou.
how many Paranormal Activities movies were there?
This is the Next of Kin, which I think this is 8.
So like 8 movies of nothing.
Just garbage. And this one takes place in the Amish country, because that's what we want to see. We want to see Amish people and scary things.
How do they film that?
Don't know.
How do they film that?
I didn't see it. I don't want to see it. I will never watch it. And that's a very good question.
Well, now I got to look up clips, because now I'm just curious.
It's a very good question, actually. How did they film the movie if it's supposed to be like takes place in Amish land?
That's what I mean. How do you?
Doesn't make
How
any
is that?
sense. Nope. We're not.
Unless they filmed it completely different than the rest of that.
We're not even touching on it, and we're not even going to ask the questions, because they don't even have give us answers. We have House on the Bayou. I don't know if you've seen that one. I haven't seen it, but I heard very good things.
I haven't seen it.
I've heard
it is on my radar.
I have heard good things about that one. Firestarter, a remake. No, did you see Firestarter? Wait. It's got Zac Efron in it.
I didn't know they made a remake of Firestarter.
Yeah, they did indeed. Firestarter. Zac Efron is in the movie.
I mean, I like Zac Efron, but
I heard it's absolutely horrible. Like horrible.
I'm not going to watch it.
That's hard. I hear it's very bad.
I love Zac Efron. I'm not going to watch Firestarter.
I like Zac Efron too.
Sorry.
I hear very bad things. They came out with.
They lost me on remakes. It's not going to happen.
Well, they came out with Dash Cam. Guess what? That movie fucking was trash, because they're again garbage. And then they came out with a movie. They came out with a movie that was so fucking awesome. I loved it so much. It was called. Well, it's actually directed by Scott Derrickson. Sinister Scott Derrickson. He's back.
Right.
And what's he doing? The Black Phone.
I was waiting for this movie. Oh my God.
Good one.
It was so good.
So good.
I saw it twice. In theaters, I saw it twice.
Very nice. Very nice.
It was so good.
Well deserved. Well deserved. Cheers to Blumhouse for being on this fucking film, because Ethan Hawke returns, James Ransom returns,
Yep.
The fucking sheriff returns, so-and-so.
Sheriff so-and-so.
Sheriff so-and-so
Deputy
is there.
so-and-so. Sheriff in the next movie.
Yes, he's the sheriff in the second one.
Yeah.
So it's Deputy so-and-so. He's the brother of Ethan Hawke's character. This movie was fantastic. And they're going to fuck it up because they're making a sequel. They're making a Black Phone 2, and there's no reason for it.
How is that possible?
How is it possible? He's dead. I don't want no ghost.
That's what I mean. How is that possible?
I guess the only way you could do it is to do it would have to be a prequel, but I feel that takes away from that whole mystery of what actually happened. Plus, we know they're going to die. The kids are going to die anyway, so what's the point of going there?
The only way I can see them doing well with that is if they picked a completely different killer and showed, like, you know how this one, the grabber was more of like a just kidnap and then torture, kill.
Mm-hmm.
We see, like, bring in different elements of different serial killers. Like, next time make it a like Ted Bundy type, and it's, you know, only women in a black phone, and then like bring in like a John Wayne Gacy type where it's the young boys again, but it's like with a clown. Like that's the only way I can see them doing well with that, but still it won't be the black phone.
I like that concept. I like where you're going with that, and I think Blumhouse should listen, because use the black phone as your key.
That's the only thing that's the same in every
yes.
It shows up when somebody needs to escape that time of peril.
It's very good. I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
That's the only way I can see it being well.
And but it's not going to be that. They're not that intelligent. They're not going to go for it.
It definitely won't.
It's going to be he's still alive and he's going to be grabbing now again in the year 2025. And you're like, wait, hold on a second.
No, I think exactly what you said. It's going to be a prequel.
Yeah, most likely it'll be a prequel. We've gotten nothing from it. We just know Ethan Hawke is returning. We know, I don't even know if Scott Derrickson is actually directing it. I don't know if that's been confirmed. We'll find out. As I'm looking along, I'll see if he's been confirmed. If he's in it, okay, maybe. But this movie doesn't need a sequel. This movie's very good. If you've never watched it, please go ahead and go watch it. Watch this, The Invisible Man. There's a few of them we could throw out for you that Blumhouse has slapped their name on it. This movie, though,
Black Phone, straight up. When I was losing hope in Blumhouse, and I was like, I don't need to go see every Blumhouse movie. They came out with Black Phone after a long period of me just being like, Blumhouse doesn't mean shit to me. And then Black Phone happened, and I was like, you know what? They're doing that toxic thing again, where they give me something so great, and I go, maybe I gotta give it a chance again. And then they did the same shit again.
They did. Agreed. But I will say you this. Scott Derrickson is directing it, and he is writing it.
Okay.
So it is confirmed.
Still skeptical.
Of course. And Joe Hill. Don't forget, Joe Hill as well is going to be helping write this as well. Which, as we know, Joe Hill, that's Stephen King's son. He was the one that wrote the original. Originally, it was a short story, and they turned it into a movie. So, again, still skeptical, but at least we know Scott Derrickson is behind it. That's a plus. That can make us feel a little comfortable. Like if Mike Flanagan's behind something, I'm going to feel a little bit more comfortable.
Give it a chance, but, still go in with hesitation.
Well, let's wait for the trailer. Let's wait for the concept, the trailer, and then we'll make our decisions from there.
I might not see it in theaters, but it will be watched eventually.
Sure. That I do agree with, because we have to. We got to do it for the show. A few other ones that came out. We got They/Them, which was hated so hard in the community of the LGBTQ plus RWC4K, and I don't know what else they call themselves, but a Kevin Bacon movie. It was on Peacock. I don't know if you watched it. I didn't watch it, but I just heard very bad things. They were very disappointed in it.
I haven't watched it. Typically, when it's a movie like that, where it could have sensitive subject with the Alphabet Mafia, I wait to hear their opinion, because they're the ones that
Trashed
living
it. They
I'm
trashed it.
like, and if they trashed it themselves, I'm like,
and it was supposed to be like,
need to see it.
Was it supposed to be like a, now I don't want to say a love letter, but more like a appreciation to, because it was like, I think they were gay, and then the whole point of the whole thing was they were trying to turn them straight, and then there was like a killer that was involved. I didn't watch it, but I know that it was just handled very badly, and they just they were not for it. They were like, nope, fuck this movie, it's garbage.
I feel like if you want to do something like that, you have to include that community. You have to take elements from that community that translate well, and if you don't, then expect everyone to hate it.
Yeah.
There is no in between there. If you don't know the subject matter, why are you talking on it? You know,
that makes sense.
Why would you even try it?
Well, they tried it.
It's like me coming in here and going, "Hey guys, I'm going to teach you about physics," and I know nothing about physics other than
it's not gonna
up
work.
is up and down is down.
It's not going to work.
Here's gravity.
We
don't float.
It's not going to work really well for you.
I'm going to be laughed off the stage.
1,000%.
That TED Talk will not happen.
They come out with Halloween Ends next. We've touched on that.
Yep.
And we will not touch on it any further. How about Megan? Megan comes out January 6th of 2023. Did you like Megan?
I thought it was interesting. I wouldn't say that I was so impressed by it, but I did think it was interesting. I mean, they tried to give us a fresh movie. They tried to give us something new, innovation of technology and where androids and AI are going. It touches upon those real life aspects of like what can happen now, but it wasn't one of those movies I'm like, holy crap, you got to go see it. It's more just like, oh, we got another creepy doll in the family.
Yeah.
Add her to Chucky and Annabelle.
Yeah. I feel that I feel this movie would have been better and maybe a little bit more respected in a sense if we didn't get the Child's Play reboot before this came out. Because after the Child's Play reboot, where, you get the whole AI, the apps and all this shit, the technology, then they drop this and you were like, well, we've already seen this.
Yeah.
This
timing
is
everything.
better.
If they had put it out even, I would say, a month before that, it probably would have done a little bit better.
I think so too. Does it deserve itself a sequel? Sure. I would definitely watch a sequel.
Yeah. I
had fun with it. I thought it was a fun movie, but again, it was a great concept that a little too late on execution though, because once we got Child's Play, the reboot, which, I'd like to touch on that movie too, eventually one day, because I didn't like it when I first watched it, but when I rewatched it, if you truly keep it separate and don't compare like to Child's Play, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, but you have to keep it out of the universe. Don't
think of it as a standalone
just
thing,
a straight up standalone fucking film. And you know what? You may sit there and be surprised that it's not as bad as people may have thought. Here we go with Sick came out January 13th. That movie was fucking horrible. Yeah, that movie was bad. I heard about this film. It's called...
Did it make you sick?
Well, no, but it took place with the pandemic, so... there's a movie called...
Pandemic movies were not good.
No. Host was good.
Host was good.
Host was good.
I mean, like, movies that took place while the pandemic was happening.
Oh.
Not pandemic movies, but the movies that were made during the pandemic.
Which was Host. So Host is the only one I'll give credit to.
Yeah.
Because they literally, and we're going to do an episode on Host where we can go the backstory because it's a great backstory.
Yes.
We had Insidious, The Red Door.
It fell off.
Yeah,
again, the more they do the sequels and the prequels and give us too much content of this thing that we loved.
Yep. Nope. Not
lack
feeling
of care
it.
comes.
Didn't feel it. They came out with Totally Killer. I actually really like Totally Killer. Gave that whole Happy Death Day freaky vibe. I know you didn't see that one. This is more Back to the Future kind of thing. Lots of fun in this movie. Definitely, it's on Amazon. It's definitely a must watch. And then we reach Night School Horror in the long run, because Exorcist Believer, Five Nights at Freddy's, Night Swim, Imaginary, all four of these movies have their own specific episode. Go and listen to them. We're not talking about it right now, but all 4 of these movies
One or
are
we already gave
garbage. That's the most you need to know. Garbage.
I did do my studying in the study hall. I listened to your episode on Imaginary. I'm not gonna watch it.
Did you like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Secret of the Ooze?
I did.
Okay, go watch the movie then. Just for that part, just skim to the end when they go to Imaginary Land. Go to where they go to
but
YouTube.
I will not watch the whole thing because if I have to imagine it like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I won't be able to.
Oh, it's great. Da babies. That's what you get.
So I will find the clips, but I will not watch them.
Definitely do it because it's really funny just to see, like, as I was watching it, and I remember saying, I know that, and I say it on the episode, but it's just like, I'm like, da babies. Da babies. They are stupid. Like, they're not stupid. They're infants. Bang. Okay, maybe they're stupid infants. Like, I love it. Put that down. And he starts to cry.
I love that, but I don't love that for a horror film, you know? I love that for what it is, of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, it's so good. It's so funny. Like, num-nums? You want num-nums? And that's why I feel like when you watch the movie, like, they could grab a cupcake to him and go, num-nums? And he's going to be like, num-num, and then eat it and turn into the little stuffed teddy bear again. Like, yeah, it's like Razor and Ludo from fucking Labyrinth had fucking a baby and they created Chauncey. Like, oh boy. Wow. Okay, so that's all the movies that have come out so far. Now, there are currently 4 upcoming films that are legitimately confirmed. Recently, at CinemaCon, they've also confirmed a few more. So this is how we're going to wrap up class real quick. I'm going to throw out the 4 movies. Speak No Evil. Did you watch the trailer, James McAvoy?
I did.
Looks kind of good.
I'm interested. I mean, what did we have? See No Evil?
See No Evil. That's the WWE film with Kane.
Yes. So I remember seeing that and going like, oh, I really like this. And now that we get Speak No Evil, I'm like, is it going to be related? Is it
not at all
going to be its own one-off thing?
Definitely not happening.
But the trailer looks decent.
It does. Interested. I'm excited. It's Universal. It's, fortunately it's Blumhouse, but it is James McAvoy. And I do like me some James McAvoy. So I'm very excited for that movie. How about The Wolfman? We have seen, they actually released clips and the trailer at CinemaCon. So we don't know anything about it. We have no stills. We have nothing for it. Lee Winnell will be directing it. So are you excited for a Wolfman movie?
I am excited for a Wolfman movie. And I've watched so many remakes or just monster movies where they're like, oh, we're going to redo Frankenstein, or we're going to do Frankenstein's Monster, or Bride of Frankenstein, or we're going to do Dracula, or another Dracula movie, or, just a vampire movie based off Dracula. We don't get a lot of Wolfman. And you know what? I'm excited to see Wolfman.
Well, we did. What was it? Benicio del Toro was in it.
Yeah.
And Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
He was Van Helsing.
But I'm a little excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see a Wolfman movie. I think it'd be pretty cool. Hopefully, we have to see. We got to see the stills. We need to see some more trailers. I need more right now.
I need more information to be able to gauge whether I'm running to the theater or if I'm waiting for streaming.
Yeah, 1,000%. Don't worry though. We will be discussing that film when it comes out. Obviously, Megan 2.0. We already discussed. We already touched on Megan. It deserves itself a sequel. We'll see what happens from there. Let's see how much fun they can have with it. And then Black Phone 2. Again, we don't believe this movie should be happening, but it's happening.
If I do the way I had already previously mentioned, it should happen. But because I know it's not, no, it shouldn't.
Agreed. Now I'll touch base on 2 films that were announced at CinemaCon that Blumhouse announced that they are going to be coming out with, and not surprised on this one, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Not surprised.
2025, right? Next year?
Yes, late 2025 they plan to come out. So probably around Halloween they'll probably try to drop it. Not surprised.
Too soon, too stupid.
Not surprised.
Definitely not surprised.
That's a cash grab right there. It will make money. We know this. It's going to make money. People are going to want to watch it. Matthew Lillard is in it. Springtrap. So,
I mean, Yeah.
We're going to watch it. This show
Matthew
is
Lillard.
watching it because we have to. We review the first one. We have to review the second one.
Of course.
And the last one, I didn't know this was happening, but this was just announced. Between Blumhouse and Lionsgate, they are doing a Blair Witch Project reboot.
I did know this was happening.
You did know.
I did.
You didn't say nothing.
I knew this was... No, because what can I say about it?
It's Paranormal Activity.
I'm nervous because it's... Blair Witch is not Paranormal Activity. I will say that. Because
no, it's not.
Paranormal Activity is, Paranormal Activity. We already know what it is. Blair Witch, when it came out, and I know we've talked about this before. I know we touched on it. The build was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The belief that it was real made it so much bigger than it was.
Yeah.
And I loved it when it first came out.
Yes.
And then as I rewatched it, I'm like, why was this big? Because really nothing happens.
No, but it was the build of it. It was
the build. It was the community around it. It was the rallying.
Found
footage. People going out and actually looking for, missing hikers. It was the news broadcasting like, hey, we found this footage of, missing hikers. Mm-hmm. This is what we found on their cameras. It was the whole thing surrounding it that made it great. What are we doing for this reboot?
I don't know. I don't know how we're going to do this. I don't know what we're doing. The fact that it was announced, I know this was a recent announcement, so we don't need this. This is Blumhouse is going to Blumhouse. And lately they have been Blumhousing and they're just slapping their name on something that's not needed. We don't need no more prequels. We don't need no more sequels. Let's get some creativity. Show me something different. Every movie that I announce that is coming from them and that has been announced are fucking remakes, sequels, prequels. Like, nothing is fresh. Nothing is fresh because problem. Even the fresh shit has been shit. Night Swim, garbage. Imaginary, garbage.
They used to do so well on their standalones, their one-offs, their fresh ideas. Mm-hmm. And you can see the trend where, like, again, if a Paranormal Activity comes out and it does well, I mean, they do that, whatever. But if you have a Black Phone come out, if you have an Oculus come out, they did so well just on their own.
Yeah.
And now you're making prequels, sequels, spin-offs. Like, it just because something made you money doesn't mean you need to further that. Mm-hmm. You don't need to progress in that.
That's
you
right.
Need fresh ideas. It's okay if you have prequels and sequels for some of them because the story continues. It needs more.
Right.
Like, the world needs more building. That's fine.
Sure.
But if you're doing it for every single movie that makes you money, what are you going to have?
Yeah.
A portfolio of sequels, prequels, and
requels. And reboots. And fucking everything that you're just trying to make money. You're trying to cash grab it. And that's the issue, I feel, with Blumhouse. And as we come to the end here, is that we, as the audience, are allowing this to occur. We're allowing them to do this, and it's because sometimes you have to know when to sit there and be like, okay, listen, enough is enough. You need to go back to the whole stop dropping 25 movies a year and slapping your name on shit. Stop the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Slow your shit down because you can come up with good concepts. Come up with fucking good execution. Because that's the problem. We have good concepts, terrible execution. Imaginary is a good fucking concept, and you dropped the ball. How did you drop the ball with an imaginary friend? The concept that you could go into an imaginary world and shit could get fucking real. And they were just like, nah, we're not going to do that. We're just going to do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and we're not even going to stick to our fucking story.
Tommy, they're gonna flesh that out in Imaginary 2.
There is going to be a sequel, 1,000%. It's set up. Nope. I'm not doing it.
How much do you want to get into? Because I believe Night Swim and Imaginary are going to have a sequel probably in the next 3 years.
Well, yeah. Well, Imaginary is guaranteed. We've already said, what was it? It's going to be Night Swim, The Final Dip.
Yeah.
That should be the sequel to that one. I think that's actually confirmed that they are going to do like maybe in talks confirmed where they're like, oh yeah, we're totally going to do a Night Swim too. Imaginary, They set up for a sequel. So again, Blumhouse going Blumhouse.
Give it 3 to 5 years, they'll be out.
1,000%. Blumhouse is going to Blumhouse now. They're at that point where now they don't even care. We're just slapping our name. We're slapping our names.
That's the thing, though. I understand the need to make money. That company needs to make money. So if they want to slap their name on some stuff that isn't horror, just to have some sort of income, that's completely fine. But when you're trying to change the horror game and you're coming in here slapping your name on all these prequels, sequels, requels, spin-offs, dude, eventually you're going to run out of that fucking money.
Yeah, their logo actually changed to show all the horror aspect in their shit. When we go to the movies and it shows Blumhouse, it shows, Michael Myers, it shows The Purge, and that zoom out that it does. Well, yeah, because it's zooming out as it's going, and you're seeing all the little pieces of the films that they've helped create. And
that's before the door shuts and it comes out to the
so where it
logo,
actually says, and then it does the house logo where it says Blumhouse.
Yeah.
And that shit is fire. That's a fucking dope ass fucking entrance to Blumhouse's production company. But you start to see all of it and you're like, trap, garbage, trap, garbage, garbage. And you're like, there's nothing good here. And that's the problem.
Or they're only showing you the good first movies and not the sequels because they sucked.
Mm-hmm. And us as an audience, we got to be better audience. We got to be better moviegoers. We have to understand and sit there and be like, listen, I know you guys are going to slap your name on anything, but give us good. You can give us good concepts, but give us good execution. You're not giving us good execution, not giving us good movies. It's the same thing with M. Night Shyamalan. This actually happened where people were boycotting the fucking guy, where they're like, no, like, fuck you, man. You're just stealing money from us. You're stealing money. You're not giving us good movies anymore. Why am I going to waste my time?
You're wasting our time.
You're wasting my time.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. Now I'm not going to say he got canceled. He's still around, of course, but he vanished because they knew he had to hide his name in certain movies where people are like, oh, fuck. After Earth, like I mentioned before, they saw his name and some people got up and went, done. And that was it. You lost money because your name. Okay, so, and he's still trying to find his way back. Old, when he came out with Old, it wasn't good. It was stupid. Then he came out with that other one, Knock at the Cabin. Cheers to Dave fucking Bautista because he's the fucking reason that movie was good. Concept was stupid.
He carried it.
He was very good in that. Really good.
He carried that whole movie.
Dave is a good actor. He proved it.
They must have given him like a voucher for a massage after that because he must be tired carrying that whole fucking
He carried that entire fucking movie. Even the concept, when you saw that from a mile away, you caught it. You sat there and you were like, Four Horsemen. Yeah, and there it is, and Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista was great in that film. But this isn't an M. Night Shyamalan appreciation episode. That's coming soon. Trust me, we die to talk about the Shyamalama Ding Dongs, about his rise, his fall, and again, we speculate now. We're afraid. Is Dave Bautista in it? Then I might watch it. But if Dave Bautista's not in it, I don't know if I'm watching it anymore. So yeah, that's it. This is our appreciation for Blumhouse. So Sabrina, say your goodbyes and tell us your final thoughts of Blumhouse. Are you excited for the future?
I'm very skeptical about the future. Like, I feel like all of us need to kind of band together and really take a step back on what we want to see from Blumhouse, because right now I feel like they're just working on brand investments and like slapping their name on anything just to make money, and that's fine. I mean, they have a big hold for Halloween Horror Nights. There's always some sort of Blumhouse house at Halloween Horror Nights, and everyone that knows me knows that's my jam. That's where I go. Halloween Horror Nights is my biggest thing in October, where I'm just like, go all out, save up the money, go all out. And I love seeing the houses and how they come together. And I feel like that is something that I am kind of upset for Blumhouse. I know that their movies haven't been great, but like their houses are even lacking. They do almost the same things. And I can do another whole episode on Halloween Horror Nights just alone for Blumhouse houses, but I'm just worried, honestly. Bottom line is I'm worried. And I hope that we can get back to that excitement. Maybe it's not going to be the big general excitement of you see their name, you have to rush to it, but maybe even just saying like, oh, Blumhouse is now producing, 3 to 4 films a year, maybe even 6. We'll give it a soft 6.
Okay, soft 6.
Instead of shotgunning them at us.
Yeah,
give me
25.
like 1. Like take aim and fire.
Yeah.
Don't just shotgun blast it and see what hits.
Sure, I agree.
But and all in all, I'm here for what's to come. I'm ready to see it.
Yeah.
And I hope all of our listeners and our students are ready for it too, because we're here for it and we need everyone to subscribe, enroll, and follow us. Don't forget to rate and comment. We love seeing everything that you guys have to say. Recommend movies to us. If there's something we missed, let us know. We'll get into it. But until then, it is what it is. And I'm gonna stay creepy.
All right. Well, you stay creepy. And I have to agree. You have to follow, you have to enroll, you have to subscribe because there's more to come. And, when it comes to the excitement of Blumhouse, it's not a big one. It's not a big excitement for me. I feel they need to Daniel Day-Lewis the shit out of this one. They need to wait and come out for the good ones because that's why he's one of the best actors because he waits. And he's coming back. They just announced it. Him and Christopher Nolan are teaming up. So he waits. He waits and he picks and he pounces when he needs to because Daniel Day-Lewis knows good movies and he knows good people. That's what Jason Blum needs to do. Wait. Find the good people. Get your Flanagans. Get your Scott Dickersons. Get your fucking James Wans. Fucking get Greg McLean again and do me another Belko or maybe create a new Belko. Find those. Get your Jordan Peels. Get ready. Get prepared. And give us movies that we want to watch, that we want to enjoy. Give us television shows that we could enjoy, if anything. But they're just, again, like you said, they're taking shotguns, they're shooting them out, and they're just seeing what happens. We're throwing grenades and maybe it's going to hit something. It has to hit something if I throw a fucking grenade in the area. Yeah, I'm going to fucking kill 50 people, but hey, at least 2 of them are going to be serial killers, so I'm safe. Like, that's where it's like, no, that's still bad. That's still bad. There's 48 other people, innocent people you killed, and this is how their movies are. All right, I throw out 25 films, 2 of them land. Okay. And 2 of those had good writing and good directors. But all the other ones are listen, I want to, and I'll say that before the bell rings. I'm okay with giving people chances. I love the fact that a company like Blumhouse is willing to give other directors, new up-and-comers, opportunities to direct films. That's fine. Get new writers. That's great. Like Talk to Me, which wasn't a Blumhouse movie, was YouTubers that were directors. They were fucking great. I think the movie was overhyped. I think it was still good, but opportunity for new directors in the horror community, which Blumhouse is allowing us to see. But you're giving us trash. So stop that part. It's not the director's fault. It's the writer's fault. Well, actually, I'm going to say that. It's the writing and the directing because Blumhouse is not stepping in and saying, okay, let's rewrite this. Or, hey, maybe not. Let's reshoot this. Or maybe we should change this a little bit. No.
Like they're giving them too much free range.
Way too much free range. And then, and maybe because it's nowadays you're not allowed to disrespect art anymore. You disrespect art, you're a piece of shit. Well, too bad. You make art to be disrespected. You're looking for criticism. Don't fucking do it. If you're not looking for somebody to comment, good or bad, don't do it. And unfortunately, Blumhouse has found themselves at the high highs because they've thrown out fucking bangers. But recently, they're at the low lows. And unfortunately, based on that schedule coming out, it's not looking too hot.
No.
They ruined The Exorcist. They got scrapped. The sequels got scrapped. They were like, oh, that was pretty bad. Yeah, no shit, you fucking schmuck.
Wait, so we're not getting Exorcist?
It's indefinite suspense. Yeah, I don't think so because it's indefinitely been scrapped. So they could pull it back, if they need to. But I guess they're like, maybe we shouldn't do this. Hey, Black Phone 2, how's that sound? Probably not. Probably not.
They have an opportunity to rewrite Exorcist Deceiver. They have all this time in the world to make it good. And release
not
it
if David Gordon, not
and
if
they're
David
not
Gordon,
doing it.
No, not if David Gordon Green and fucking Danny McBride's going to be on it. They can't write horror.
No,
they can't write.
Take their names off of it.
He can
Have
direct.
someone else do it.
He can direct, but he can't write horror. Go back and do fucking pothead movies. That shit worked. It was funny. We enjoyed it, but either stay behind the fucking camera. I'm sorry, Danny McBride cannot write fucking horror. Alien Covenant was trash. Stay away from good shit. You're hurting our franchise. You're hurting our good movies. But that is going to do it. The bell is about to sound. My name is Tommy James, a.k.a. Mr. Who's So Smooth, a.k.a. The Smooth Effect himself. I'm the movie guy, baby. All right, Sabrina, we got to get the fuck out of here because he's starting to float. He's levitating a little bit. We have to get him down because it's getting a little strange. So, all right, let's go.
I'm on it. I'll grab his legs.
All right, let's go. Right now. Let's go.